and gentlemen of Twitchcon, welcome to the Lineage 2 Revolution 30v30 Fortress Siege event. I am your host, Gillyweed. Casting this awesome event is going to be Frodan and Dreadnought. You are in for such a treat. We've got 60 gamers up here about to do battle. And to lead the charge, let's introduce our kings of the teams. In the red, the king of Clan Bella. Give it up for Sko! And in the blue, the king of Clan Harden. Let's hear it for Pokemon! Now, a lot of you guys might not be familiar yet with Lineage 2 Revolution, and that is just fine. It hasn't been released yet in North America or Europe. But to get you hyped for what to come, let's check out this awesome cinematic. Lineage 2 Revolution is a truly open-world MMORPG with stunning graphics because it was built with the Unreal 4 engine. This is what allows for these incredible large-scale battles. We're going to see 30 versus 30, but when it's live, Fortress Siege is 50 versus 50, and that is all on a mobile device. Now, of course, it hasn't yet been released in North America and Europe, but Lineage 2 Revolution has been available and is wildly popular in the Asian market. Let's take a closer look. Guys, we are so close to getting this battle underway, but I gotta explain the rules of the game before we get started. Each team will spawn in their respective fortresses. And in the spawn points, right next to that is the Holy Artifact. This is the objective of the game. Teams must go across the battleground over to their opponent's fortress and try to imprint their symbol on the Holy Artifact. But there is a catch. Only the kings, the clan leaders themselves, can imprint on the Holy Artifact to win the game for the teams. So it's so important that the teams can keep their leader alive. On the way over to your opponent's fortress, there are 2 tiers of towers standing in the way. You have to bring these down to open the gate and head on in, and then there will be more turrets right at the Holy Artifact. So important that you tank the damage of this so that the DPS can bring those down, because there's nothing else to soak those shots. Finally, in the center of the map, there's a few more objectives. 2 altars that will give not just you, but your team buffs for a sizable amount of time. And finally, in the center, a spring of recovery. If you're able to stand around this, this will allow you to heal up faster. There are many routes for you to take to get over to your opponent's fortress. And the teams who are able to control the center, get the buffs, and continue on, those are the teams that are going to be victorious. I'm going to talk about some of the few strategies. I'm going to bring on up one of the commentators. Let's bring to the stage Dreadnought. Hey, Dread, are you pumped to get this thing going?
I am absolutely excited to get this thing going. Every one of the 30 vs 30 Fortress Sieges we've seen so far, they've only gotten better and better. So, you know, to kind of have this final one here, I feel like it's going to really be the crescendo we've been looking for.
Now you get 1 strategy to try to, 1 second to give these guys some strategy. So what is the first thing you would say is important for these listeners?
Absolutely, sticking together is the #1 thing you want to be doing. The sticking as a unit, never going off on your own and getting that Lone Ranger. You know, try not to be a hero. It is a team game, and looking out for the greater good is what you want to be doing.
Well, it is time to get this Fortress Siege started. So I want to ask, Red Side, are you ready? And what about the blue side? Are you guys ready? Best of luck to both teams. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Dreadnought Frodan.
We have ourselves another Fortress Siege, ladies and gentlemen. 30 vs 30. The action is packed, but with me is Frodan. Frodan, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, and I'm ready to see what Day 3 is going to bring us with this Fortress Siege action. We've seen a lot of the Method players come out big whenever they're playing a Fortress Siege battle.
No surprise there with the experience that they have within the MMORPG realm. They are flaunting it here today at the Fortress Siege, and I'm expecting Sko and friends to kind of pull ahead with that.
We've had a lot of great battles throughout the weekend, and a lot of tactics have been employed, but the most important thing is what you mentioned, teamwork and communication. A lot of times teams split up their strategies. Some try to take the altars, some try to push really aggressively, and sometimes if that works in 2 different directions, it's not going to pan out for either side, and you end up losing control.
It just breeds this kind of chaos with this many people on the battlefield. But talking about some of the battle here, both of the teams have evenly traded those buffs into the middle section of the map, almost dead even in terms of time. So no open window of opportunity later on to try and, you know, go for that famous double buff that gives you such a big advantage.
That's right. You can already hear some of the communication coming out, encouragement from Pokemon and her team saying, good guys, keep up the pressure. We're winning. Trying to protect our buff, and what's really important too is they can take this opportunity to fight for the spring of recovery. If you tie on the altars, what really can tilt the battle in your favor is that extra health regen that you get from controlling that center spring.
Yeah, and the crowd control lockdown and these type of tight chokeholds around that spring of recovery make it very difficult to kind of understand how far out you want to push to stay within the healing range, but also not getting clumped up and making yourself easy pickings for the other team.
Blue team is starting to take a slight lead, and it seems like they're going to be able to fight for spring of recovery control. And from there, we've seen dominant leads extend all the way up to maybe even 100 kills. And I feel like the padding's about 40 to 50. Once you're around there, it feels like the team has to change up their strategy and no longer try to go for center control only.
Yeah, I completely agree. It does feel like that is kind of the breaking point where things seem to get out of control for the other team, and suddenly desperation kicks in where they have to go all in siege, Hail Mary play, and you never want to do that here. But so much being thrown down around the spring of recovery. Dominance being displayed here at the blue team as they're now rounding double the kills of Clan Bellet.
Pokemon's got a 45 combo and climbing. Her damage is accelerating with each combo extension. You increase your damage output, getting plus 3%. And more importantly, Sko is falling. In the midst of the battle, red team has been swarmed. Blue controls the center, and look at them. They're starting to push onto red team's altar.
It's been a slower kind of onslaught here for the blue team than we've seen out of some of our other Fortress Cs, but it feels almost with more torque right here. They have more weight behind their punches as they're going to be able to slowly ease on into the base bulldozer over at Clan Bellet here. So I'm suddenly wondering, when are we going to see them back out here? Sko and the squad maybe push towards those turrets.
Look at that control from blue team. Pokemon continue to call out, and it seems like red team, they're actually very coordinated. They're trying to go into the same areas and focus their attack. However, on the other side, it doesn't seem like they're able to actually push back blue's momentum, and now they're making a play for the altar.
Yeah, we have 15 seconds before one of the two altars will spawn up at mid. Only 7 seconds separates the two of those. They do spawn conveniently in a position to where it is likely for you to be able to get the trade of one of those, but I expect the blue team here, they're dominant. They should be bullying out the red members here and getting that double buff.
This is the lead that we're talking about. I'm going to go ahead and walk over to Clan Bailiff, led by Sko from Method. So Sko, the first thing I'm going to be asking you is, if you can declare right now to your entire team, let's say that they can't really hear you until you're talking to this mic, what do you want them to do right now?
I need them to get middle, and I need them to get middle fast.
Red, get to the middle, get there fast because there's not much time. However, you still have several minutes to play with here. Did you expect this kind of deficit this early on, or do you feel like there's still a lot of Lineage 2 Revolution Fortress Siege battle to play?
The battle is definitely not over till the time limit's out. We're going to do our best to come back from this, but we're definitely on the back foot right now, so we need to focus up and capture these altars before we can push the towers.
This could be one of our last battles for the entire weekend. How much more important is it to end with a big W here?
There's a lot of reputation on the line, obviously, with this one, so we're going to do our absolute best to push that blue team back.
It's all business here on Team Red. Sko's trying to concentrate. I'm distracting him. What's happening on blue team?
Going over here, we got Pokemon. We're going to be checking in. First of all, Pokemon, you're dominating throughout this match. Much different than the tale of your very first Fortresses. Can you maybe give us some insight as to why you've been so much more successful here?
I learned a bit of strategy in terms of when to go for kills, when to go for objectives, and how important the two buffs in the middle are, and taking control of the healing.
Yeah, you guys seem to, absolutely execute this strategy near perfect at this point in time. So are you going to be aiming for maybe just more of that kill count at the 15 timer, or are you going for more of that maybe imprint onto the Holy Artifact?
I think we're going to go for the kill count, get some blood.
Get bloodthirsty over here from the blue team. My goodness, Frodan.
I want to see a massacre, and I feel like the Pokemon army is behind her. Right now, the lead is extended to 50 kills, and we talked about center control. It's been dominant. Blue team has not been able, or red team rather, has not been able to push them off the spring of recovery. And it's such a big deal, too, because the extra kills means that the death count climbs for red. And remember, if red team hits 10 deaths, or if you are a player on red team and you hit 10 deaths, the respawn timer gets longer and longer.
Yeah, things get weird once you get past that 10 death threshold. Suddenly your death timer will increase to 30 seconds, and every death beyond that point increasing further and further up to a maximum of 60 seconds, and that is 1/15 of the battlefield, not even considering those deaths before. So that is worst case scenario, and it's something I expect Clan Bella to have to deal with throughout this match, as right now Pokemon is just dominating this battlefield.
Every time I'm looking at Pokemon, she keeps disengaging just at the right time. She's right now making a play for the altar as well, trying to see if she can time it. But at the same time, Sko's kind of throwing himself in there. He's trying to lead by example, but he's dying. He's getting caught. He's getting stunned. Those warriors are putting out big damage and AoE at the same time and taking away most of his army power.
It's one of those moments where you can appreciate that he's willing to, put himself at the forefront. He's not willing to, he's not going to put others out there. He's going to represent the squad as best as he can, but it is sadly coming at a cost. chaos here on Fortress Siege.
That's right. May not be the wisest strategy, just throw yourself out there, but boy, is it brave and courageous, and we salute you, man of honor, Sko. Or at least we'll see if he's able to turn it around. We could be declaring it too early, but right now the way things going is Blue is sticking to that strategy. They're not letting go of that center, and I think Red needs to rethink what they're doing. Right now they're just approaching the center. There are ways that you can cut off reinforcements from Blue because they're trying to go from straight spawn to center. There are also ways that you can surround and go for a big pincer attack.
We just had a huge play there. Nice interrupt coming out from Red 0208 right there. It interrupted the imprint onto one of these major buffs in mid, which, by the way, just both came online here. Another imprint attempt, one for Blue, one for Red, getting halfway here into that channel, and it's looking like it might go through.
They have names, Dread. They're not just numbers of employees. They're trying their best. It's a team effort. What kind of mentality? This is not American capitalism. This is, we're all in it together. Sko trying to make a play for the altar, and it seems like both teams have, again, split the buffs, and that's not going to be enough. Blue team needs to just continue to secure the lead, and Red needs to do a lot more than just even up the score.
It really does feel like the Red team here is kind of, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And now that we are rounding past the 50% mark here through this game, now 7 minutes left. It is we need to see some kind of mix-up in strategy if they're going to come out ahead.
A couple key members from Red team are flanking to the east side, trying to see if they can go for a slight pincer, but a couple of stragglers from Blue are holding them off. There's about 5 members from there, and that's enough to make a difference because Blue team will focus all their AoE in front, and that's when you can snipe their rangers, their mages, and if you can get big damage on them from behind, that's when you can swing the game.
Absolutely. Those circles, create a brilliant area around that spring recovery to where most of the backliners are kind of going to stand offish on their own in between that and the buff. And so if you properly flank, you can have some really high impact plays. But talking about some plays, the Red team here getting a significant amount of damage onto this eastern turret.
Well, Red team is climbing further and further behind here. It seems like the only hope could be the power of, are you Banana Man?
No, I'm not.
What's with the banana outfit, though?
It's comedy.
It's comedy, but are you trying to deliver a joke to somebody, or are you trying to make a statement about yourself?
I'm trying to make a statement about myself.
And what is that statement?
My outer layer doesn't represent my inner layer.
That's right. Don't judge a book by its cover, and don't judge a Red team by how many kills they're behind. Dread, what's going on in Blue?
I was just wondering, can I judge a banana by its peel? That's the real question here.
That's a slippery slope, my friend.
Well, I've found a friend over here, and we're going to find out what he's been doing. What is the action? What is your experience here with Lineage 2 in this Fortress Siege?
Well, I'm just trying to have a lot of DPS on the enemy team, try to pressure them as much as they can and push them back. And while staying in the fountain, so I just keep on healing, so that the fights go longer and they kind of lose pressure.
Do you feel like your hat actually, benefits you, give you the armor stat padding and advantage here in this kind of game?
Not really armor, but maybe stealth. I don't know. Maybe. Could be.
Maybe the stealth if you AFK for long enough. I think you're pretty good at scouting as well. Frodan, there has been a lot going on up in this game. What have I missed out in my time there with Tito?
You just missed pretty much the rerun of the same episodes we've been watching. This is American entertainment at its finest. Reruns after reruns. Blue team is extending their lead further and now are up almost 150 kills. Lest we remind you, there's 30 people per team, 30 versus 30. Even if Red team died 5 times in a row, each of them, it wouldn't be enough to equalize.
That's that Hearthstone math coming out, and I'm really thankful you're there to back me because I sure would not be confident with those type of numbers. Talking about a numbers advantage, though, is here this Red team clumped up onto the right-hand side. The imprints just now become available. We'll see if they want to try and make this play, this heavy push. It is dire for them to be able to get these buffs and recover in these deaths.
This is the last chance here for Team Red, in my opinion. If they can get both those imprints, they can make a big push. If they can't climb back in the kill count, what they can do is start turning tides. Look at how much damage the East Towers have taken from Blue team. That's enough, I think, from Red to still make one final push here.
Yeah, there is still that kind of one moment, that last Hail Mary play available. Nice imprint attempt here. A lot of action going on, and there is the interrupt. Blue team doing a good job and securing their own buff. They're not only pulling ahead in kills, now an objective play beyond all else.
Love the leadership coming out from Team Pokemon. You can see why her community loves her. She's always talking. She's always communicating. And now she's leading them. She's saying, you know what? Now that we have it, control the middle. It's not as important to take down their altar. Just control the center. And from there, we can pick apart their strategy.
They are doing such a great job there, even moving past that chokehold. Anytime you can do that and consider the area in which you're taking a fight, I cannot reiterate that enough, especially here within this Fortress Siege, considering are you taking a fight in an advantageous situation, and most of the time those chokeholds are anything but.
Blue team again, crushing the center. Red team hasn't even captured the altar yet because they've been so focused on trying to fight center for the blue, and blue now is pushing deeper into red territory. I want to see an ultimate victory here. I want to see a holy artifact captured, but we only have 3 minutes left, and we're coming down to the last wire here. Can red team turn this around, or will we finally see blue victory?
We may see ourselves with a final blue victory here, but I feel like when we talked to Pokemon in the very first Fortress Siege she competed in, she talked about, you know, teamwork makes the dream work here. And her communication throughout the entirety of this game, I just, you know, the leading by example we gave out of school, I feel like she has put that on case here today, and why you can set yourself so far ahead with good coordination and teamwork, even within Fortress Siege.
I agree. I believe any motivational poster with a cat on it is pretty much something that red team could apply at this point. There's really nothing going on for them. Even though I feel like ultimately they've been working together, their tactics haven't changed. They've still been trying to get center control. But here we might see a shift in ideology. Red team is pretty much aligned to the east side. They've given up both altars. Can they make one final power play? Because I don't think in any world, they're heaven or hell, can they climb back in the kill count.
Yeah, the question here is just, can they get past this chokehold for the blue team? It's been kind of them forcing the hand of the red team, a little bit more than I feel like it has been a power play. But we do see at least a little bit of damage going on to the eastern turret. Success into the world of siege and structures here for the red team.
I haven't seen communication from red team at all. You know, normally you can even see the chat, usually trying to say something. Maybe they're even trolling each other, but there's no communication at all. Blue team has been texting each other. They've been talking or hearing commands from Pokemon. They're a much more social group, and I think it's showing in the result. 500 kills. What they could do is also go for a new kill record that we haven't seen all weekend.
Yeah, they are getting very, very close, and they are not at the end of the timer. Is now that is still 1 minute and 30 seconds left. This really does feel like this is the final attempt here. They have managed, red team has managed to push back onto this chokehold, which has been very, very convenient. But as we see on the minimap, there's a huge flank here from that eastern tower after the immediate spawn from blue.
At this point, red team is trying to play for honor, which is close the gap a little bit and maybe even play some keep away. If I'm red team, I'm staying in my base behind the towers. I don't want to be part of the receiving end for the world record here of kills in 30 versus 30 Fortress Siege.
They are absolutely dominating throughout this match, and it's understandable that that has been the go-to strategy here for Pokemon. You know, she has already a Fortress Siege under her belt, understanding sometimes the safest strategy, which is the 15-minute timer, it is inevitable, is the best strategy. And that kind of game plan really paying off.
Relentless. The altar doesn't even impact the game whatsoever, but blue team even capturing it. They understand everything about this objective. And you know what? I don't even think red team played that badly. I think blue team was just that much more coordinated and understood what they needed to get done.
I completely agree. The synergy that they were able to display, the coordination and communication has really been almost unrivaled compared to every other team, even the formidable Trump that we've seen at Fortress Siege.
10 seconds remain between blue team claiming their victory. Pokemon still talking and giving orders. The game's won. 2 seconds, 1 second. And Clan Harden will take the 30 versus 30 Fortress Siege, and the crowd goes wild.
Good job, guys.
Let's hear it again for the blue team. Pokemon, come on down here. Bring your knights and accept this perfect foam board as your victory prize. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm going to have you guys come over here on the other side of Pokemon. Okay, you played earlier today in our earlier Fortress Siege, and unfortunately you lost. So talk to me about some of the lessons learned and the strategies that you conveyed to your clanmates today.
Yeah, so earlier I focused a lot more on objectives, turrets, actually trying to win the game that way, but since instead of 50 players it's 30, I figured maybe we should go for the kills. And that seems to have worked this time. It was really, really fun to play with everyone. Couldn't have done it without my awesome team. Thank you guys for playing.
Yeah, I would say it worked. You guys dominated. You had so many kills. And you had such good communication with your team and a lot of positive reinforcement. Is there maybe something to be learned about competitive PvP and positive reinforcement, positivity here?
Yes, team morale is very important, so cheer your teammates on. It helps a lot more than you think.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you to our casters. Thank you everyone who participated in this Fortress Siege. Up next, we'll have more Lineage 2 Revolution. Stay tuned.